So you've been working on your temperatures lab and you are writing up your lab report, and you've gotten to the point where you have inserted your tables into your lab report. Now what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to create a graph that compares your water and syrup bags in your hot water beaker and your water and syrup bags in your cold water beaker. In order to create a graph, you're going to use the program called Microsoft Excel. And I have it open already. I'm just going to bring it up and show you what it looks like once it's open. Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet program, and this program allows you to create lots of different types of graphs. So from your already created tables, we're going to take some information and we're going to put it into Microsoft Excel, and we're going to create a graph of our data. So what we're going to do first is in the first little box here in Microsoft Excel, I'm going to type the water bag and the syrup bag. Now you'll notice that the word water bag doesn't quite fit in the square, so I'm just going to pull it over a little bit, make a little bit more room to make it look pretty. Okay? So now I'm going to go back to my Microsoft Word document that's already in progress, and this is going to be my graph for the hot water beaker, which is my first table. So what I'm going to do here, so that I don't have to keep switching back and forth to put all the data in, I'm just going to highlight the temperatures for the hot water bag, or I'm sorry, the hot water beaker, the water bag. So I'm going to right click and copy that whole list once I've highlighted it. I'm going to go back to Excel. I'm going to right click in this box, A2, and I'm going to click paste. And what that does is it takes all of my data for the hot water beaker, the water bag, and it just copies it right in here so that I don't have to go back and forth and type all my data back in. Now I need to do the same thing for the syrup bag. So I'm going back to Microsoft Word. I'm going to highlight my temperatures. I'm going to highlight all my temperatures for the syrup bag. Right click, copy, go back to Excel, right click, paste. So now I have all of my data for the temperatures for the water bag and the syrup bag in my hot water beakers. That's the only information that I have to put into Excel in order to create a graph. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm still in Microsoft Excel. I'm going to highlight everything that I just put into the squares. I'm going to go up to the top. I'm going to click Insert, and I have the choice here for a line graph. So I'm going to click on Line, and I'm going to choose the first one here. I'm going to click on it, and it puts the graph in automatically. The reason why we had to put the word syrup bag and water bag at the top here was so that our lines would be color-coded based on which one we're talking about. So now we have a basic graph, but this isn't complete. It doesn't have a title. We don't know what any of this data means. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the colors the way they are. I'm not going to change anything here. But if you notice across the bottom here, this is going to be our time. And remember, we measured every 2 minutes, not every minute. So this data doesn't quite fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to the top under the Design tab and choose Select Data. And it's going to open a new window. All I'm going to do is over here where it's this whole box on the right hand side says Edit, I'm going to hit the box for Edit. And what this asks me to do is to tell it what I want my label to be across the bottom. So since I measured every 2 minutes, I'm going to go by twos. So I'm going to type 2 and then a comma, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and I only measured up to 14 minutes. You may have to go further depending on how many minutes you spent measuring your temperatures. So I only went up to 14. So I'm going to click OK and watch the bottom here. Watch these numbers change when I hit OK. Okay, now they're correct. Now it tells me at 2 minutes what my temperature was, at 4 minutes, at 6 minutes. So now I can click OK. The data makes more sense now. Now, I don't have any labels on my axis, and I don't have a title on my graph. So I'm going to have to put some in. To do that, you're going to go up to the top of your screen, and you're going to choose the format, I'm sorry, not format, layout, the layout tab. It's the second to last one that opens at the top. In the layout tab, we are going to change, we're going to give our chart a title. So I'm going to choose this button, and I'm going to choose above chart. That way it's not writing over top of my graph. And I don't have to click on anything. Whatever I type is going to go into this little box here, and it's automatically going to change when I hit enter. So the title of this chart is going to be the hot water beaker. Do you see when I type that the words automatically go in here? Once I hit enter, watch my chart title change. There, it changed to hot water beaker. Now I need to put in a label for what this information means and what this information means. So I'm going to go to Axis Titles, up here at the top again, and choose Primary Horizontal Axis, which will be my axis across the bottom. We'll put the title below the axis, and we're going to make this time. And in parentheses, I'm just going to put an S for seconds. And I'm going to go back up to Axis Titles, Primary Vertical Axis, and I'm going to do this one as a rotated title. So it's going to kind of tilt it to the side. And this axis is temperature. And in parentheses, I'm going to put Celsius, because that's what I measured in. Okay? So now our graph is complete. We have information about the water in the syrup bags in the hot water beaker, the temperature change over a period of time, and this data matches what we have in our table. So now what I can do, you have two choices here. You can either save this file as it is and add this file to your Dropbox in addition to your lab report file. But an easier way is to click in the box, and then you're going to use your mouse and right click and choose copy. And then you're going to bring your lab report back up, which is in Microsoft Word. I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. This is my whole lab report that I'm typing up. I'm going to click underneath the table. I'm going to right click and choose paste. And there we go. It puts my graph right into my lab report so that I can save everything as one file. So the only other thing that I need to do now is I need to make a second graph, which will include my cold water beaker information. So just do the same thing. You can close this file, or you can just open another one. It doesn't matter. I'm going to close this one. No, I'm not going to save this. I'm going to open a new file. I want a blank workbook, and I'm going to do the same thing again. The water beaker, or I'm sorry, the water bag, the syrup bag, and I'm going to do the same thing. Go back to my lab report, copy the data for the cold water beaker water bag, copy it and paste, and the same thing for the syrup bag. Right click, copy, paste. Once again, highlight the whole thing, go up to Insert, choose Line Graph. It creates the graph, and then again, change your data by clicking the Select Data, change your numbers on the bottom, then you'll go to the Layout tab, add your titles, copy and paste it into your finished lab report. This is how you complete the graphs for your temperature lab. If you have any questions about how to put them into your lab report, go back and rewatch this tutorial again and email me if you have any questions. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great day.